Alright, so the next demo that we're going to be looking at is you herring. Okay, let's get started. Pistol round. Coming up. Where are you at? There you are. So Harry, let's see what you do. I like that you're holding that position. I think that's good because if they're playing aggressive in apps, you'll be able to kill them. So when you swing on that angle, make sure you're trying to clear the angle first, hold it for like maybe half a second, and then go on. Because if they're standing there and you don't like have your crosshair placed on where they can be, because that's a really common angle right at the corner where you're looking, especially on pistol rounds. So yeah, just make sure you're clearing that angle specifically, because could have got us killed, or could have got you killed. Good job not overcommitting there, not just running out. And looks like you're clearing sight pretty well, so that's good on you. Okay, so when you drop into pit, I know obviously you saw the guy there, and I appreciate the fact that you hard cleared small pit first, but the next thing you need to be doing is clearing big pit. Not exactly your fault you get killed from a guy on site, or the guy Moto, it looks like, yeah. But instead of taking that fight on the guy Moto, just run into big pit and try to get the kill there if there's a guy there. Biggest thing is just trying to clear out the pit for us, because I think a bunch of, well, it ends up getting traded. So all in all, good job clearing some of those angles. That's about it for the pistol round. Next round, which will be our first gun round. Okay, so this round, I remember that you guys are playing like really passively for some reason. I'm not sure if you have a read on it or something. And that molly forces you off the angle. So if you and Dylan were pushed up towards logs and in the corner next to logs, you probably could have gotten 2 free kills there, or at least 1, because he's just running with a P90 down banana. So it's not a hard kill. They get pretty close, so good job with that. That's really unlucky that you got dinked from top mid. Can't fault you for that. And I'll skip ahead a little bit. So again, I was talking to Dylan about this, and so 2 of us died in apartments, and so you guys need to be aggressing somewhere, because they could be in alt mid right now. We haven't exactly cleared it. We haven't taken back control. So you guys need to be going for banana control a lot faster, and you guys just kind of sit around at bottom mid for a while. I know you guys are probably waiting for this smoke, but you have 5 flashes total, so there's no reason not to use them. That nade misses, just a side note, doesn't really matter in this case. And you probably shouldn't be throwing it when you're the only one throwing it. I think you get it later on, but it's the knob in the middle of that decal that you're supposed to be aiming at. And so, like I was telling, or like I did tell them, make sure that you guys aren't telegraphing your push so early and then not making moves on it, because obviously 3 rotate over, a 4th's about to rotate over, because you guys have thrown 2 smokes now. I think you've thrown a few flashes, 3 flashes, and now you're about to throw molly. And so make sure that you guys are acting quickly. In a 3v4, it's best to probably walk up into banana. Don't throw any nades at all. And then if you guys take a fight, take the fight, get the kill, get the trade, whatever, and then run up onto site as soon as possible. In this case, set up some fast nades. Like you could be throwing the fast CT smoke by just running at CT and throwing it. And then you could be mollying dark or mollying quad. Quad would probably be a better option in this case. But throwing nades that like hit fast, and then Dylan could be flashing over the roof, and Thomas could be smoking coffins, or he could be holding on to smoke that hit top banana. He could be holding on to his smoke for a resmoke on CT. So, because when you guys have no map control, they already know that there's nobody in alt mid, right? And so they can just afford to rotate all 4 of them because they've heard so many nades go off. And so either right here you have to run back and rotate, and that's probably gonna give a sound cue to the guy Speedway right now, who is Litten. So really, you guys need to just be running out really quick. That's about it for that. You died to a nade, which is unfortunate. Kind of unlucky that you got tagged earlier from the MP9. The next round is round 5. Okay. So this one, you need to really be helping Dylan earlier into the round. You're just kind of helping Thomas, even though Thomas doesn't need help. Mid's a really easy position to hold as a terrorist, and so he probably doesn't need you backing him up. I would hope, at least. And banana is a lot harder to take and hold as a terrorist, so you need to be helping Dylan out. You could be playing that logs position. A lot of pro teams will send one into the corner across from logs and one into logs, and then you really want to just be holding out a smoke, okay? Like unpinned and just holding it and aiming it at the ground, so that if they throw a molly, you can instantly throw the smoke grenade, and then you will take like maybe 2 damage, because as soon as the molly pops, it does very little damage. So you can be doing that, and then Dylan can hold out his gun, or you can both hold out a smoke, although I wouldn't suggest that. It's more likely that they molly logs than they molly Dylan, so I would say that you hold out the smoke at logs, Dylan holds out his gun in case they push. Obviously, if they push, you can pull out your gun while they're fighting Dylan, swing out, etc. But make sure you're helping Dylan take banana control, because our banana control is really slow this game, I noticed. And it's never like mixed up to be fast. You did hit the flash there, so you figured it out pretty fast. That's about it. Make sure that you're checking all the corners before you plant. There's still 15 seconds on the clock. It takes 3 seconds to plant, so in total you have 12 seconds to spare. You do have time to clear second oranges, although I think Dylan in this case should be clearing second oranges because he's sitting grill. It's a really easy angle to clear. But you should be clearing dark or quad, one of the two, or both. Next round we're looking at is this round. This round is pretty simple fix. And where is it? Oh, okay. So the bomb is down towards alt mid. And maybe I'd assume it's a miscommunication between Dylan, me, and you, but Dylan's gone and you swing onto site and die, so you didn't have to swing onto site. That puts Dylan in a 1v4. He almost was it, but not quite. So just make sure that you're aware of where your teammates are, and that's like a lot to keep in mind, is like your teammates are, where the enemies can be, what the strat is, what the economies are like, do they have ops, do they have M4s, how much time is left on the clock. It's a lot, but one of the bigger things is where your teammates are in relation to where you are. And so since Dylan couldn't refrag that, you shouldn't have peeked into sight. Next round is round 9. Again, helping out Thomas. Probably should be helping out Dylan at logs. And so so the nade actually did do damage that round. I think Dylan threw that. Okay. So when you're pushing out into sight, especially when you're running through smoke, you gotta know, when you're running through smoke, you gotta know where the most dangerous angles are. So he died from balcony. So what I would do is clear these one angle at a time, right? So clear balcony, clear small pit, then clear big pit. You didn't have to really run through that smoke. You could have jumped up on the hay bales and then got a better angle from there. But even if you do run through smoke, just make sure you're clearing balcony. Balcony is a really common spot to hold. Also small pit. Small pit's also super common to just play there and just be fucking stupid and sit there the whole round. That's unfortunate for that round, but just keep that in mind. Next round. Thomas gets picked mid because he's just holding it. And see, I'm not sure what that smoke is supposed to do, but it doesn't do anything. Maybe you're trying to block off top mid so you can grab the AK. But if you just jump into there, he's not gonna hit you 9 times out of 10. So you probably would have been fine. You just need to just jump in and then crouch straight away, look at the ground. Let's see. So you flash out. Flash didn't exactly work, but it would have been close enough. So I really like that idea of the 2 nades. I don't know if that was calmed or not, but it ended up doing 60 damage, or 53 damage, or 63 damage. So that was good. Let's rotate back. And all right, so you kind of run through that smoke. It's probably a comms error, I guess. But there was a gap in the smoke where I jumped up, and you can jump up from grill, from the coffins area, and then you're not running through smoke into a crossfire. So just little things like that. Next round is round 12. By a sawed off. I'm not sure about the sawed off on banana. It's more of an apartments gun, if anything. And Dylan does kind of die for free there, so you should be really trying to get this trade kill. You saw him, and then he runs back. So yeah, you should be trying to trade Dylan. Okay. So here you're just kind of throwing all your nades. So we saw that HE just landed in the sky. The molly would have came too early, unless you thought he was right behind you, because the molly only lasts for 4 seconds. So 4 or 5 seconds, probably around 5. So make sure you're not just throwing your whole belt of nades, and that smoke doesn't go anywhere. I appreciate that you're trying to use nades, but when you're throwing nades, just try to be conscious, why am I throwing this grenade? What is it doing? Where is it going? How is it going to get there? Because that HE, although he could have been moto, you have to I guess it's just game knowledge that comes in time. HEs explode pretty fast when they're thrown in air, and so you can't throw them very far. If you're going for like a high trajectory. If you're going for a low trajectory, you probably could have made it, but since it was going so high, it didn't really work. And that smoke as well, that smoke got caught on the ledge. The only reason why I know off the top of my head that you can't throw that smoke like that is because I've done it 5 or 6 times, and every time I failed, so I don't blame you. Okay, next up. So again, slow banana, far too slow really. When they're not using any pressure. That's not actually a CT smoke, by the way, that you would normally throw. It also missed, but it's a deep CT smoke, and the purpose of the CT smoke is to clear off like cathedral and tree, those angles, and then back CT as well, and so your smoke only clears out back CT, and also to clear out rotates, to prevent them rotating back into sight. But obviously a CT could just push that smoke if it landed back CT, knowing that they had a teammate on site. Also, think about like all the angles that they can be and clear them one at a time. One of the better players right now in Pro CS is Rops, and so when you watch him play, he's literally clearing out. He's a lurk player, so it doesn't apply always, but he's literally clearing out one angle at a time, peeking one, the next, the next, the next, the next. Even if there's nobody there, even if there's not been people there for a long time, he's still clearing them out one at a time. So obviously you don't have to take it to that extent, because at this level they're not going to be playing, like, there's only so many angles that they're gonna logically be playing, and they don't have the skill to kill you in the split second it takes you to flick over like a millimeter. But you could have been peeking Coffins first, Emo next, then you could have been clearing Fountain, then you could have been clearing Quad, and then you could have been turning around to clear Boost. So, and Boost is a really common spot, so make sure that you're watching that. So just try to clear one angle at a time, or 2 angles max. 2 angles that are close together, not 2 angles that are 180 degrees apart from each other, because that's pretty much how you die. You have a 50% chance of dying, and when you die from that, it kind of sucks. Round 15, same thing happens. Just make sure that when you're entering, you're pre-aiming angles, you're learning where they can be. Round 17, let's see that. So moving over to the CT side. Here we go. So an M4 buy, not bad. Yeah, I agree with that. No faults there. The one thing that I do want to bring up is, again, awareness of where your teammates are. Thomas is sitting sandbags and you're sitting back site. You guys can't help each other at all. If Thomas dies, you're soloing site against 4 or 5 rushing players, maybe 3. Still not fun. And the rotates are miles away. The rotates on Inferno are pretty long, so you want to the CT rotates are pretty long, so you want to make sure that you're playing together so that you can call for the rotate early. And it's kind of a really good thing. You do eventually come back. I assume Thomas called you back over, but just like try to be aware yourself. Round 18. Okay, my notes just say weird round, so I have no idea what's gonna happen because I wrote these notes yesterday. I don't remember. Okay, let's see. So you throw a logs logs nade. Yeah, logs molly. Flashed out. You run away with your knife out. I would not have your knife out in that situation because they could run up anytime. You guys kind of give up banana control without it being contested, really. Oh, sandbags is not a good spot to sit with an M4A1S because your silencer, suppressor, sticks out. So that's just a heads up. Don't play there with a long gun like an AWP, an M4A1S. You can play there with an M4A4, P90, MP9, whatever you please. Shotgun. It's just not one of these long guns. Just something to note that I found funny. The guy who just died stood in the molly. He had 100 HP and he just sat in the molly and died. So I thought that was funny. Okay, so the smokes come over. It's a weird CT smoke, but it lands. And so you're just holding that a little late on the reaction. You do dink him instantly. Or I guess Thomas does. So Thomas did trade that. So that's good. But you probably want to be playing that angles so that you're peeking out every now and then. You don't want to be holding the angle because it increases the likelihood of this like peeker's advantage. Because if they're peeking onto you, especially online, not on LAN, they have an advantage because they see you before you see them. They can also react before you can react because they're actively doing something, you're passively doing something. So like the way your brain works, you're less focused than they are. So just like swing out maybe like every second, you know, you spend a second holding the angle, then you go back, spend a second holding the angle, go back, behind cover, even spend like half a second holding the angle, then a second back. Like it doesn't have to be an exact science, but make sure you're going back and forth, not like super fast, obviously. Like spend a lot of time behind cover because let's say he peeks out and you're not there, like the timing worked out to where you're not there, and then he moves on to the next angle to clear, and then you peek out like just by timing. He dies there and he's pissed because he just got timing. Like you increase your chances of getting the kill exponentially if you're not just straight up holding the angle. So that's all I have to say about that round. Next round 19. So kind of a recurring theme is you guys just forget that banana exists. That happens around 19, 20, 21, 23. So you guys like throw your nades and then you run away. They haven't really taken banana control when you guys were actually holding it, so I'm not sure what's the deal with that. Now you're soloing. These rotations are kind of weird. Okay, so Thomas gets the kill. Flash. Kill. Nice. It's good cleanup. Good work with Thomas holding like this semi-crossfire. So this next round, you guys throw your nades, you run away. So again, strange on no banana control. So that's a double smoke on CT. Thomas threw that at the same time. And then also keep in mind, I died super early in the round. I peeked mid like a fucking idiot. I mean, Litton just had the better spawn than me. But also, like, it's a dangerous peek. But I thought we needed to go for it because we weren't winning these rounds by a lot. 10-9 scoreline, I probably didn't actually have to go for it, but that's on me. But anyways, since it's a 4v5, we really need info as to where to rotate. Like, see how Dylan and Matthew are playing this. They're playing this in the pit, up in the minimap, you can see that. They are literally the farthest point from a B site that they can be. So either they need to be pushing, or you need to be pushing, and so you need to communicate that. The double smoke is actually really unfortunate because that smoke lasts 13 seconds. And so you could have delayed them an extra 13 seconds. And that, although it doesn't sound like a lot, that gives probably enough time for nearly a whole rotate from pit. So yeah, when we're down a person on CT side, we need to be playing for info, not playing back on sites. Although it's like tempting to just play sites, playing sites is for when you're up a person, not down a person. when you're down a person, you guys need to be making plays. So in this instance, obviously hindsight 2020, but it would have been best if Matthew and Dylan weren't playing pit together for some reason. I don't know why they're holding the exact same angle. Maybe there's a read on that. Maybe Matthew thought he heard something. I don't know. But all in all, you guys could have pushed out on a banana or with a flash. None of you guys have flashes, but you did just use your flash. I assume you're scared of a rush, but obviously that doesn't come in. And they're setting up grenades, throwing mollies, throwing smokes, throwing flashes, and it all comes over at the exact same time. And so again, with the peeking out and in, although it actually works in your favor at first, you probably could have just stayed behind the corner. You got a little too greedy, especially since I believe Thomas was smoked off. Let's see. Yeah, he was. So Thomas was smoked off, so he got a little too greedy, peeking again. Obviously it would have been nice if Thomas had a flash, and then Thomas could have flashed over the smoke. It's just like little things that the more you play with Thomas on B site, the more cohesive you'll be. Like Thomas could have thrown a flash over for you to peek out, that after the flash pops you could have swung, and then they would have all been blind because they're obviously all looking at you because you're the only threat on site. And so the flash comes in, they don't see it coming because it's pop flash, and they're all blind. You swing out, probably swing from the other angle. They're not going to be holding the other angle most likely, and then you get like 2 kills. You come back in, you just hold a passive angle, you wait for them to come to you, and you probably die with nothing, but at least Thomas can reaggress. He can, it's down to a 3v3. It's a lot easier to retake this site at that point, especially since you guys did do a decent job of delaying for Matthew and Dylan to rotate. So then the last one I have to talk about is round 26. That would be 11. Here we go. Alright, last round of the game. Okay. So Thomas goes down and you didn't trade it. Unfortunately, in the demos, to go back, I just learned this, you have to actually load every single tick beforehand. so unless you wanted to wait through that pause, I couldn't have actually seen Thomas die. But just trust me, it's in my notes. You probably could have traded Thomas, but then again, there's 3 of them, you probably would have died. But make sure you're playing with Thomas more on banana. That's the only thing. So play this pillar, you're a little peeked out. So you got the kill, right? That's a good job. They missed the molly, so it's lucky. I actually like that you threw that smoke so that they're worried about you playing around the smoke, even though it didn't start hitting you. But you did actually just solo hold B site, so I'm proud of you for that. It's a good job. And then they plan on A, and then we lose the round. So, all in all, I would say the biggest things to work on are pretty basic things, making sure you know what angles to hold or peek, some fundamental movement things like how to hold an angle without just sitting there and holding it, because just sitting there and holding it is something that we all do from time to time, but it's kind of a silver thing to do. But like obviously I do that a lot of the time too, just because I'm like zoned out, just holding the angle. I do that a lot on B-side Inferno. I'll just hold in the tunnels angle, I just die instantly. I get so mad. And making sure that you're playing dynamically as well. Trying to get banana control, trying to play with Thomas, making sure that you guys know where each other are, and paying attention to where your teammates are in relation to you, and trying to play off of that. So that's about it.